Hi everyone, my name's Tracey from Art Fibre Stitch, and so much of what I do, wants to boost creativity. And so I'm going back to something that I found very useful when I was wanting to try and have a go at things. And I started using this book, and I would doodle. I would just add a bit of colour here, a bit of pen there. I tried using all kinds of different things. And you know how sometimes you have products that you've never used because you're unsure what to do. This is your private thing that you can feel confident to just have a play with. Cut some bits out, put them in, stamp things. It's just, it's just fun. And I almost never finish a page at first sitting. I'll glue something in and then I'll go somewhere else. Here I've done a few different things. I've used some different mediums that I had, and now I'm just grabbing out a marking pen, and I'm just drawing in some of the details that were there, and maybe you can't see it as well anymore. I'm just going over the lines that were there, maybe adding a few of my own. And that's a really good thing to do because it just allows you to improvise a bit. So here it is. I'm actually putting an earring in this, and with a nice dangly earring that leads me down to the next figure I have underneath. But that's it. If I don't like it, I'll go over it. Now this is something I was doing the other day, and I thought, okay, let's finish it. I was on the phone with my daughter, and I was just putting color down on this page, and then I found this piece of paper. I have come back to it now, scrapbooking paper, and it's got an art stamp on it, and I thought, well, yes, it is art, I suppose. It's a bit of a mess, but I'm calling it art. And so my next stage, that I came back to the book, was that I added a bit of glue. That's Mod Podge, but you can use what you like. And then I just the reason that's blue is because I have some blue still on my brush from the watercolor, but I don't mind. And I'll use that to seal that down, maybe put a bit of color around the edge, and then I'll come back to it. And here's what I ended up doing. Can you see that it's a blank page on the right, and I drew a colorful hand dripping paint as it's painting that colorful page on the left. But let's have a look further. This book has so much potential. Look at that. We've got one's from London and one's from New York. Great. I could really tell a story with that. And that's what you're doing with your art. You're telling little stories. But if you doodle and don't have a plan to start with, it's surprising where it can take you. And it really helps you imagine. Like this time here, I think I'd tried to do a bird sort of sailing over, or some sort of world, and it's a bit and I'll keep playing. But if I don't like it, I can glue those pages together. I can stick something over the top. I could use white gesso, like an undercoat, and pop it on and go again. It doesn't matter. And because it doesn't matter, I feel free to flow and just play. And although, watercolors is not my thing, I'm learning something. I'm having fun. I like that you can see the writing through it. But I have no idea where this one's going, so yeah. We'll just see on that. Even just popping in those scribbles now. No damage done. So grab yourself an old book. One with pictures, one with writing, one that you feel happy to play with. Make it a good size so that you can pick it up and travel with it. and let's make some art. I recently got myself some of this stuff. It comes in a roll, and it is rice paper. You know, it's used for Chinese ink painting. Anyway, I thought let's play, and so I started doing this, and I'll just do one now quickly so you see what I'm talking about. So I was just using the crayons or the oil pastels or something. You could use wax, you could use a lot of things. A wax candle, if that's all you have, that's fine. So I'm just choosing a color, or maybe a couple of colors. And you could use a stamp. I've got some of these plates which I quite like, and whatever has a texture, you could use something natural, but I just thought I'll have a go. Isn't that pretty? Okay, not gonna be too precious about it. There. You see this one here? So you can get these plates, which are really good. Just a rubber stamp, basically, without its back on. Or you can, well, like I said, you could use anything. I actually used this. I had this kind of paper that was quite textured, and that's what this one is. I just went over it just to see what it would pick up, and it helps because it sort of it varies. It varies what you're doing. Anyway, so, and then just because I've got them here, I was using my little watercolor set here, and I was just playing with it. So let's try. And then a little bit more, maybe there. You know, with watercolors, if you add a bit of water, then it really just does a pastel of what you've got. The more water, the more see-through, the more light colored it is. But look at that, that's intense. And then gonna add in a bit of red. Just some water there, see what that does. And just not worrying, just playing, because all we're doing is making possible background piece. What I'm hoping for is to eventually get a collection of these and use them, maybe keep them in a drawer or something and use them. Anyway, that's quite intense, but it dried quite light, similar to this one. And yeah, so I just had to go then at cutting out, and it cuts lovely. You know, imagine it could be. I don't know, it could be, you know, you could use it for different flowers of petals. Petals of a flower. You know, on the pink. You could just make a variety of different ones. Anyway, I liked it. I liked it. because I like the idea that it's yeah, it has that variation, you see. I even went afterwards and let's do some of that. I got a colour on my brush and I just went flick, flick, flick. What I'm trying to say is I'd like people to feel free to have a go. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If you don't think you can paint, maybe you can just do that. Stripes. Daubs. Anyway, so that was fun. And I enjoyed doing it. And I think it's going to be really useful. Look here how we can actually see through it. See the pictures underneath. Which is probably going to be just perfect for this activity of playing in this book. Making art on the pages. But it's something I just keep adding to, and I think you start to feel confident to lay colour down and play. And if you're like me and you maybe have a few different things that you've never tried, you know, maybe you bought some pencils, maybe you want to just try and do some colouring in, maybe you want to try the watercolour pencils, you bought them and you didn't know what to do. But I think something like this is great because it is something that you can feel free to play with. See, now I've just done something like that. I don't care if I leave that and come back to it. If I want to put something else in, I can. Or I might want to stamp some pages. And I'll show you some of the ones that I did do. But I think it's really good for if you wanted to. So here I've done a bit of a wash and then I've left it for next time I come back. And what would I do next time? I don't know. But that ladybird is telling me maybe it should be red. And maybe I'll just colour it in. With the watercolour I can still see the spots. There we go. That's fine. You know, but maybe I'd want to do something else. Maybe. Let's see how this rice paper tears. Interesting. Make a little... I like it like that. Yes, I do. I'll use that torn edge. I think it's a really great creative exercise. You can feel free to try things. So the idea is to feel quite free. Free yourself up to have a go and don't worry about the consequences. And that's why I like this, because I'll flip from page to page and it doesn't really matter. And I don't even care if I close a page, you know. If I did, then I would just blot it a bit, but there we go, blotted. But if not, then it would just stamp and use an interesting mark on the other page. So, what have we got here? Well, we've got Japanese things. So, you know, maybe I would look to see if I have any really nice Japanese kind of paper. Oh, I've just left some red marks, I don't care. Yeah, some Japanese paper. Maybe I've got a really nice stamp that I could stamp on something. And maybe I can just use half of that. Oh, see, already I quite like that. Yeah, so it's like that. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, because I was playing with that. See, look, here's another one that I did one time. It's fish. Well, I started with just gluing in some bits of writing, and then I added in a plain colour, some really nice old pictures of fish. And then because I'd never used it, I tried one of these, you know. I had never used it, so I thought, oh, this is a good one to scribble on. And yeah, I could do what I wanted. Do you know? But I like the idea. I like the idea that it anytime it's there, and anytime you want to try something, you can. Perhaps you want to practice with different color combinations. I'll just use some of that excess paint whilst it's drying. Pop it there. And that's what I mean. You don't need to worry. You really don't need to, you know, what am I going to do? Doesn't really matter. And you might want to try all kinds of things on it. But at least you feel free to do that. Old toothbrushes are good. Have you ever done that before? Put it down. Look at that. Spray. And then whilst you're thinking, oh, what's the next thing I want to do? Go on to something else. And maybe inspiration will strike you in between. Because that's what happened here. Well, I've decided to make some marks. I've made the marks on the left with dabbing my brush with a little bit of red on it, and these ones on the right I'm trying to get it to tap tap tap, trying to get it to just a nice watery paint and seeing if it will run down the page for me. So you're watching paint dry, isn't it? Anyway, what if I just dab a few more? Add a blob of water to each. Go, my beauties. Maybe. Well, there you go. What an experiment that is. Good fun. So yeah, you might just want to try different brush strokes or something. Colour things in. So, play, my friends, play. Here I'm just adding some red crayon, just like outlines of what I already have there, just for something different. If I fold the page over, I have some of that yellow paint that we put on, and it's transferred to the other side. I'll never run out in this book. Oh, there we go. I'm going to make a flower. And what I would use would be a little bit of PVA or gel medium or Mod Podge or whatever is your thing. There you are. Yeah, but what a wonderful exercise. Now, if we really wanted to, I suppose we could do little bits. Yep. It's already looking quite pretty. Oh, you're quite nice. I haven't forgotten I've got crayons. I could always draw on it. I've torn a hole in it. It's interesting. I'll do some more on purpose. Oh, look, I can use that. Okay, now where are you going with this, Tracey? I don't know. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not frightened about making a mess, you know, because it will turn out into something. I'd probably let that one dry now and then come back to it and see what else I want to do. What's that one? Something I've started. May as well get it glued in for next time. Here's something interesting. See about ripping. Now if I rip that towards me, I will get this nice white bit of paper. And if I rip it from this way, then that's on the other side. So let's say I want that. I'm going to rip it towards me. See how the white has come through? I'll tell you why I like that in a second. Let's get this down. Because when I'm wanting to, that's like London all the way across to New York over here on this page. We'll make this a double. I don't have quite enough glue there. Now why I like it? I like it because I like that will take a lot of colour and it will blend it into the picture. So let's say I go like this. It just helps blend it into that, into the background. And absolutely having no plans just allows you to really go for it. See, I'm gonna, oh, look at that. Now why don't we extend that water out like that, like as if it's flowing from here to there. There we go. So already I'm telling a story. I'm doing something that I quite like the look of. If I can shove some of this in as well. I don't want to use it everywhere, but it is quite nice. Oh, there's a bit there. So indulge yourself. Enjoy what you're doing. And most of all, have a go. Some of that would be good. It looks like water. Don't like that straight line. That's going. Okay. Blank pages can be really scary. That's why I think these are a good thing to play with. So I hope you do. Especially if you've ever been frightened to pick up a paintbrush. So if you've ever had a go at other crafts and thought, I've got all this stuff, what do I do with it? Well, this is something you can do with it. And like I say, this is a private thing for you to feel free to experiment and try out all different new ideas. This one here, what was I planning here? Well, I think they were cowled figures wearing a cape with a hood, and they were facing the sun, and yeah, it meant something. I think these kind of things, these doodles, are a psychologist's dream. What was in your head at the time when you started it? It's like ink blot paintings. But don't let it worry you. I mean, just let it flow. Yeah. Because experimentation is the way to, free up your creativity. Let your artistic self through. It's a lot of fun. And it's only for you. So just experiment to your heart's content. Well, this does seem like a very strange video to make for you, but it's all part of my message that we're all artists. We're all able to do this kind of thing, and just allow yourself to play, and you'll get there. So my name's Tracey. Art Fibre Stitch is my business, and if you've liked what you've seen, do press like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. But most of all, please do play. You'll get plenty of inspiration, build up intuition and creativity. Use some paints or pencils or whatever that you've bought in the past, your stamps. Incorporate all your crafts and have fun. So develop your own style and get your own little journal or book, a picture book or writing or a map book or whatever you think, whatever speaks to you. Keep looking for pictures of things that you might like to add, and grab out those pens and paints and stamps and whatever else you have that you'd like to experiment with, because this is your opportunity. This is a private little book, and I think I've been quite brave to show you guys, but this is a work in progress. I don't know whether any page will ever be finished, but that's not the point. The point is to play, and that's what we're doing. So my name's Tracey, and Art Fibre Stitch is my business, and I hope you've enjoyed this little exploration of what you can do to be more creative. If you have, don't forget to press like and subscribe if you haven't already and you'd like to see more. And thank you again for watching. All of my contact details are below. Thanks again. Bye.